So last night we got the announcement that we've all kind of suspected, but we just wanted to hear confirmation. And that is, of course, that Joseph Parker will now face Dereck Chisora in October at the O2 Arena in London. That's going to be on the undercard of Josh Taylor versus Regis Prograis, which is the final of the World Boxing Super Series, which is going to be on Sky Box Office. Now, Eddie Hearn announced that card last night, and first thing I got to say is that is a fantastic... That's only the 4 fights that have been announced. Okay, so far this card is looking fantastic. We have Lawrence Okolie, who is going to be fighting for a European title. Lawrence Okolie fighting for a European title at this stage of his career, it's good, but we've seen what happened with some of Eddie Hearn's other prospects when they stepped up to European level. They've been found wanting, a lot of them, so that'd be interesting. We have Ricky Burns versus Lee Selby. That's an interesting fight. It's a kind of I would almost say it's kind of loser leaves town match, if that makes sense, because both guys really... Ricky Burns has looked better as of late, whereas Lee Selby, since he's fought Josh Warrington, he's just looked terrible. He's just looked terrible. He's fighting at a weight division which is definitely the wrong weight division for him. I don't think he's a lightweight. I think he's a super featherweight, but that's that. So that's an interesting fight. It'd be a kind of fight that you'd be intrigued at watching, but be interested to see how it goes. And of course, we have Regis Prograis versus Josh Taylor. Fantastic fight. I would lean towards Prograis, but now that it's in the UK and it's going to be on an Eddie Hearn show, that's interesting. I would still favour Prograis slightly to win this fight on points, but that's an interesting one. Now we get into Chisora versus Parker. Chisora versus Parker, I mean, if you had said to me Dereck Chisora, the Dereck Chisora who fought Takam, we'll say like last year, was going to be fighting Joseph Parker, I would have said easy win for Parker. Parker might even stop him. But seeing how Chisora's looked lately, seeing that he's almost had a new lease of life under Dave Coldwell, he's punching a lot harder by the looks of things. He just seems to be just in a much better place, Chisora. Definitely. And I think David Hay, work with Hay, has had a lot to do with that as well. Hay has definitely made Chisora look a lot more muscly than he's been in the past. And with Chisora, the better shape he comes in is kind of how up for the fight he is. So the more up for a fight he is, the better shape he tends to come in at. So I can see he would be up for this fight, because we've been hearing him talk about Parker since as far back as April or March. So he'll definitely be up for this fight. I think Parker will too. Parker's already started camp. I think he started camp last week in the US. So 2 months, yeah, that's about right. So it'll be interesting to see how Parker looks in this fight. Parker, I've said, right, when you see him against someone like a Dylan White, someone who's just going to kind of swarm and kind of bully him, we didn't really see Parker cope well. It took him a long time to kind of figure out what he needed to do. By the time he figured it out, what he needed to do in the Dylan White fight, it was too late. And he couldn't get Dylan White out of there. He ended up losing on points. When you see him against Takam, he was a little bit better. But even still, he was a bit hesitant. I think that was more so him trying to maintain his stamina when he fought Takam, because that was a couple of years back now. Where with Dereck Chisora, we have kind of, I want to say smaller version of Carlos Takam. Definitely a less physically strong version of Carlos Takam is what Dereck Chisora is. But Dereck Chisora, he does certain things better than Takam. I think he's a bigger puncher. I think that in some ways he could even be more relentless without being as strong. And I think Chisora now, he has a new lease of life under Dave Coldwell, but I think at this stage in Chisora's career, it's just a case of too little too late. I don't think there's enough left in the tank for him to be able to beat Joseph Parker, but I definitely do see this fight being highly competitive, and I can see Dereck Chisora definitely winning rounds in this fight, and I can see him troubling Joseph Parker, but ultimately I expect Parker to win this fight on points. I don't think he'll stop Chisora. I'd be actually quite surprised if he stopped Chisora, to be fair, but I think he'll win this fight on points. I don't think it'd be a wide decision. I think that I can see this decision being close. Controversial? I don't think so. I think Parker should win this fight, probably 5-7 or 8-4 on points. But I definitely see this being a competitive fight all the way through. And I can see Chisora causing Joseph Parker loads of problems. But as I said, I just think there's just one too many miles on the clock for Dereck Chisora. That's what I think. Now, I could be wrong. Chisora could turn the clock back and, do a Pacquiao and, beat Joseph Parker. Do I see that happening? Unlikely. That's what I got to say to that. I say it's unlikely that I can see that happening, but I wouldn't be shocked if Dereck Chisora did win. But I just don't see it. I just think that there's too many miles on the clock at this stage in Chisora's career. Having said that, we all thought that when he fought Dylan White back in 2017 or 2016, there was too many miles on the clock. But he proved us all wrong there. Will he prove it again? Who knows? Let me know down in the comment section what you think. Are you excited for this fight? Do you think that Joseph Parker will win? Am I selling Chisora short? Do you think Chisora could pull the upset? Or would it even be an upset if Chisora won? Let me know down below. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. And of course, I will talk to you after.